Joining us now is Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister, a top advisor to President Zelensky, Olga Stefanishyna. Madam Deputy Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. You heard President Biden's words, his declaration, we stand with you, period, speaking to you, speaking to all of Ukraine. Do those words match the actions that we're seeing from the United States and from NATO?
Well, first of all, this address was to Ukrainian people, not only to the Ukrainian leadership. And it was really important because in this time of the severe war and nearly all possible war crimes has been committed against the country, but also against Ukrainian people, it was really important to have the sense of international leadership and understanding of the tragedy which is happening there. For us, we have also heard very important messages related to the war crimes committed in our territory and the clear understanding and readiness to form the anti-war coalition led by strongest democracies in the world to stop the war and to stop the aggressive terroristic regime in Russia.
But there's a clear frustration that we're hearing from President Zelensky. I mean, just yesterday, he was expressing frustration with NATO, even saying, "Is it being run by Russia? Why can't he get all you need?" What more do you need, you as you stand there right now in Kyiv? What more do you need to defend yourselves against this aggression?
Well, first of all of these messages, they should not be perceived as an emotion. It's really different. What do we feel and understand right now happening on Ukraine when the dozens and hundreds of civilian people and children are dying? We see the situation in the field, while for the leaders outside Ukraine and in Europe and transatlantic, it takes more time to build the consensus on the things. So we feel very much concentrating in understanding what we need. The no-fly zone we were requesting is the understanding that sooner or later this decision will be taken, but it will be taken by massive costs of civilian deaths in Ukraine. That's why it's not an emotion, it's the understanding of need and unwillingness to wait for a proper political moment to that. While we have this discussion, it's really important that the West and the leaders of European nations, most of them are there already, understand that Ukraine should get any possible assistance, including military, to be capable to defend itself and to hold the European sky safe, while the broader political consensus of how to stop this aggression is there. So everybody should be concentrated over one goal, to make sure that Ukraine is capable, financially stable to resist and defend until the political solution, how to restore the territorial integrity of Ukraine and a peace around Europe, is there.
What can you tell us is the latest out of Mariupol? We hear just horrific reports of no electricity, of no food or water running out, Russians taking over neighborhoods, taking people out of the country. What is the very latest?
I would start by saying a couple of very important elements of pretext. First of all, it's more than 80 towns and villages around Ukraine which are in more or less the same position. While Mariupol is politically for Russian a forepost of the control over the whole Donetsk region. And secondly, for Russians, war is something which they're ordinary business. The wars Russians has been doing all around the world for decades. And they're extremely skilled in manipulating. That's why they do it within the UN system, the Red Cross organization. And what I can confirm as an insider of some parts of this negotiation is that they do not really care about single life of a person who died or suffers there. So for them, it has nothing to do with the humanity. In Mariupol, the situation is extremely complicated. Although we managed to take out of there more than 150,000 of people, too many of them are still remain there. They don't have access to water, to any food supplies, to anything. More than 85% of whole town is destroyed. So it simply does not exist anymore. While people there and some of them has been forcefully displaced to Russian Federation. And this is even worse than being in a humanitarian crisis in a city.
Given all of that, is there any sign of any even glimmer of hope on negotiations with the Russians? And you've heard people speculate, that perhaps NATO, perhaps Ukraine needs to make concessions, rule out joining NATO, or even ceding Crimea or the territories in the east. Is any of that on the table? The idea of rewarding the Russians for all of this by ceding territory in the east?
Well, Russians has naturally put everything on a table, while there are like absolutely clear red lines for Ukraine. And these are red lines, first of all, for Ukrainian people, but also for the whole world, because now we have the decision of the International Court of Justice abiding Russian Federation to stop the military operation and to refrain from any military action. So this is one point where no discussions are possible. Second element, that there's no discussions which are possible as regards territorial integrity and sovereignty and inevitability of Ukrainian territory. And of course, Ukraine will never step up for any element of discussions which would anyhow legitimize all the war crimes which has been committed in Ukrainian territory.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, and thank you for your resolve and your bravery. Appreciate your time.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.